Good morning and welcome to U.S. Bank Business Watch. I'm Peg Rasconi. On the Business Courier front page centerpiece this week, a national and local view of a critical component of our economy. The Courier's parent company, American City Business Journals, set out to rate the vitality of small business sectors in major markets across America with a report on the state of small business. The study's objective was to identify the metropolitan areas that are most conducive to the creation and development of small businesses. A small business is defined as an enterprise with 1 to 99 paid employees. The study looked at 106 markets. Cincinnati ranks 84th out of the nation's 106 largest metro areas for its small business climate. Greater Cincinnati ranks 97th in share of jobs provided by small businesses at about 29%. Most cities are in the mid to high 30s. One reason is the high number of Fortune 500 companies in Cincinnati. To talk about Cincinnati's ranking when it comes to small business and the climate here, Business Courier reporter Steve Watkins joins Business Watch producer Kelly Leon in the studio. Steve and Kelly.
Thanks, and Steve, thanks for being here this morning.
Glad to do it.
So why are we so low?
Well, there's a few reasons. It's kind of surprising in a way because the business community seems pretty vibrant, but a few things with the small business aspect of it. One is the numbers are probably skewed a little bit because we have so many Fortune 500 companies here, which is a great thing for the community. We've got 9. It's way more than a city our size typically has. So that probably skews the small business contribution a little less than it would be for a normal sized city. But the other thing that we do have a problem with is capital, and that's a huge thing for small businesses to get off the ground. The availability of capital is growing a lot, but it's still less than a lot of peer cities.
So you profiled a small local company. What did they have to tell you about their experience?
Yeah, the company is called MN8. It's the letters MN8, and a guy named Zach Green started it. He's a volunteer firefighter in Wyoming, and they make glow-in-the-dark things for fire equipment, which is how we started.
We had them on the show, actually.
Yeah. I think I remember when he was on. And they also make exit signs and stairway markers and things like that for buildings.
Okay.
Well, he was able to raise $1.25 million through RKCA, a local company. So he was able to get by the capital stumbling block. And he also raised some money from banks. And so he said there is money out there. There are a few issues companies need to deal with, like slow paying customers. And so you have to plan for a lot of this stuff. And the other thing he talked about is just, hey, if you work hard, you can get by a lot of these things.
So what is the local business community doing about this? I mean, what are the consequences if we don't address this?
There are pretty major consequences because small business does drive a lot of any economy, really, including Cincinnati. So it's a big deal. Things are getting better, like I mentioned a few minutes ago. I talked to Brent Rippey at RKCA locally, and he said there are a lot of things being done to add capital to the community. There are groups like Brandery, Centrifuge, and CincyTech that are making more capital available to small businesses, and that's helping a lot of them get off the ground and then get by that early growth stage that's such a problem for a lot of small businesses. So things are getting better. Okay,
and the larger story looks at some other cities as well, so it's an interesting story. It's always nice to see how Cincinnati compares.
Yeah, and we looked at 106 of them, and yeah, on some of them we are dramatically low, but there are other areas that are pretty encouraging. One downside is small business contribution is actually in decline the last few years, but we've got some other areas with the broad economy that are looking up. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but things aren't bad here, that's for sure.
Good to hear. You have to take a look at the print edition to see the full story. So,
Yep.
Steve, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.